used to call me Crazy Joe, but now they can call me Batman.
What up? Welcome back once again to the Necro Zoo. I am Bones. And in this one, we're going to go ahead and tackle one more figure from the McFarlane DC Multiverse Snyder Cut Justice League figures. Now, of course, first I did do Aquaman. I reviewed him and then I repainted him. And the next one up is going to be Cyborg, of course, played by Ray Fisher in the movie. Now we are going to do both versions just to knock them out, which will be the regular version and then the masked hooded version. But both of them do look pretty nice in the package. Like I said before, we're going to do both kind of, and let's go ahead and get into it. But first, both of them do come with your standard black DC Multiverse stand. Not really needed, but useful sometimes. They both come with their own data file card. Now the only major difference is that the masked version is in black and white, and if you look in the back, they pretty much have the same data. So add these to the collection. And then they both do come with these like cannon guns that are for adding to the arms. Pretty nicely sculpted. Pretty cool paint on there, blue paint to signify the energy blast. So got some cool plans ready for this one, so put those aside. Now let's go ahead and take a look at them. Now, like I said before, we are going to be doing both. Basically, first we'll just look at the head sculpts, just because the bodies are completely the same. So if we separate the head sculpts, that'll get that out of the way. Really nice head sculpt on Ray Fisher's head. Now, people do say that this is the best one, the most accurate to the actor. Looks really good, really lifelike. A lot of cool detail over here on the whole head. You can see all the like nice sculpt work that they've done. Really cool. And then, like I said, matching them up, we'll do a quick turnaround with these so you can see they're not the exact same on the back. They have a little, this one has a little bit more armor to him, to the back of his head. And he does have that one red eye. Now, I've heard this comes out in the Snyder Cut very quickly, but he is in there. Now let's just get into the regular unmasked version. Like I said before, let's check out the articulation. Nice head sculpt. He does look down rather well. He looks up exceptionally. Really good for some flying poses. You can turn his head, and then you can tilt it for some character. Looks really good. Really one of the best articulated heads that McFarlane's done, actually. Got a lot of range of motion there. Moving down, love the sculpt work that they've done on the neck, the traps moving down into the chest. Pretty nice sculpt work. Now, one thing right off the bat is that this silver is a little dull for my tastes, and then the red paint that they put on the chest to signify his like red heart thing, it's a little bit too much. If you look at statues or any other figures, they really don't have red paint on the chest. It's more just like a thin line showing it in behind the chest plates. So we'll look at that when we do the repaint. Moving down, beautiful sculpt work on the abdomen. Have some red tint in there. Really, really great sculpt work here. Now this is like a robotic cyborg body. So the intricate sculpt work that goes into this is really had to be a lot of work. But you still get the waist articulation that we've come to find from McFarlane. Left to right, he can lean back and he can lean forward, and then of course you could twist him to get him in some better action poses. Now I heard a lot of people complain about his trunks, the rubber part that goes around his lower body, and people say that they're too small. And from what I've seen, what I'm looking at, I think they're too wide. It's hard to explain, but I think if you trim out some of the plastic, it'll like fit more snugly to the body. And I've even noticed that in pretty much all the positions, if you move the leg back, it bunches up here on the back. But if you get it closer, it kind of like moves it, kind of like the shoulders move. So I'm gonna try and when I do the custom work, I'm gonna try and form it a little bit better and then glue it, because why would you want to remove them? And then I think that when you move the leg back, it's gonna actually move the plastic with it. But we'll look at it when I do the custom work. But it does need a little bit of work. Let's look at the thigh swivel. Pretty generous thigh swivel there. You could turn it out and then cock up his knee. Now he only has single jointed knees, which will only give you 90 degrees. But for this style of figure, I mean, it works, because that bolt kind of looks like a gear or something like that. So it's pretty good. Now, what you lose in the articulation here at the knee, if you go forward and you look at the foot, they've actually added some cool articulation, which is you could go way more than down. You could go really up. You could feel those ratchets in there. And then aside from having a really differently designed swivel, the really smooth ankle rocker works very well. And also he still has the toe articulation. Also, you can't go away without talking about the awesome scope work on the legs. Really modular looking metal work that they've done. You could see all the gears in the feet. Really nice. Let's go ahead and take a look at him from the bottom. Pretty flat-footed, but he does have some identifying marks. Looking up to the back, the same attention to detail and attention to scope work. You got all the cybernetic functions that you would need for a robotic body going up the legs. And then just look at that. Look at that work they've done on the back. You could see every little connector, every little cable that's connected. It's just beautiful, beautiful work. And I think with some higher silver paint, it's really gonna pop and look a lot sharper, which is gonna be nice to work on. Really beautiful scope work. Look at that spine going up to the back. Really nice. Now looking at the arms, he does have a butterfly shoulder joint. On these shoulder pauldrons, they're, what McFarlane's been doing is when you move them up, they actually move up over the blades here, which actually could get you to where you're almost with your arms straight up. Really nice. Nice work there. He does have a bicep swivel. And then he only has single jointed elbows, which only gives you that 90 degrees. But then you do have that beautiful wrist joint that gives you swivel and then dexterity, but you don't have those big ball joints there. So it's a give and take with the scope work here, but really, really enjoying this figure. I think I'm gonna really enjoy him even more after the custom work and the repaint, just because the paint's a little bit bland. It's more like a gunmetal steel than glossy chrome, paint. But we will fix that, and we'll do another video to show the custom work I've done on this, and then I have some ideas for this one. But all in all, really enjoying this one. It's gonna look good up there on the shelf next to the Aquaman that I've already done. Let's take a look at them next to each other. And now I do have plenty of cyborgs. let's start off with my favorite one, which is the DC Direct Flashpoint Cyborg. Really love this figure. It took me a long time to get one for a good price. Just the sculpt work on this and the color, the head sculpt. I mean, even though it has very, very limited articulation, it's really nice, up there on the shelf with the rest of your Flashpoint figures. So that's one of my favorite cyborgs. Then we have the DC Universe Classics Cyborg, which is a more traditional cyborg from the early comics, even when he was in the Teen Titans. And actually, I do have two other versions. I have this one with like the Sonic kind of blaster, and then this one with like pincers, grapplers or something like that. So I do have those three versions. And we did have the Mattel Multiverse Cyborgs, which was this unhooded, unmasked, uncovered version. And I mean, look at the face sculpt from this one compared to the McFarlane, and it's just no competition. There's McFarlane wins hands down. This one's you could tell the evolution from what Mattel was giving us to what McFarlane's giving us. I also do have the hooded version, the mask version with the blaster. Like, look at the high gloss chrome on this one, and then you could tell the difference. This is what it should really look like. And then, like I said before, if you get these and look at the chest, it has more red like on the rib area, and then up here, like right above the collarbones, and then the chest line is like really thin. So that's what we're gonna go for on the repaint. And then, of course, McFarlane did give us Booyah, the Teen Titans Cyborg. Really beautiful figure. I like how they use that translucent plastic. Some people didn't like it, and then they said that we'll never get any of the other animated figures. But obviously, with McFarlane putting out that Flash and the Black Superman, it means you never know when he's gonna bust out another figure from that series. So we'll be happy when that happens. But anyways, guys, that's it for now. That's the Cyborgs from McFarlane for the DC Multiverse Snyder Cut. I will be working on them to do the custom repaint video, and then we'll get them up on the shelf next to the Aquaman that I've already done. You guys keep hunting out there, keep collecting, keep customizing, and I will see you on the next one.